Alright, so I've got a couple things to talk about here. This is the floor, and as you can see, it's got a big black coat of paint on it. Actually, what this is the undercoating on the floor, on the road side of the floor. There's 2 or 3 different ways you can do this. Some people put paint on it, just a good coat of thick primer, like a good oil-based primer on it. Some people will put what's called the mix on it, which is a mixture of polyurethane and mineral spirits, about a 80-20 or a 90-10 mix. The theory there being that the mixture of the mineral spirits with the polyurethane makes it soak into the wood better. After you put a coat of that, you then progressively put more polyurethane and less mineral spirits. Put 2 or 3 coats on it. We chose to go sort of the third route here, the third route being this black undercoating. The first thing I wanted to show you though is the holes. Because of the way the trailer is put together, and again, depending on how you build your trailer, this might be different. But the way we built our trailer, we had, it was a bolt together trailer, which I show in the previous video, and sticking out the top of the trailer are the hex bolts. So what we actually had to do here, there's a little hole here. I measured on the floor here, on the bottom side of the floor, and I cut about a quarter to a 3/8 inch deep hole there with a Forstner bit that would accommodate the bolts, so that when we set this on top of the floor, or on top of the trailer, rather, that the flooring actually sits flat onto the frame of the trailer. You could have built up a 1/4 inch or so on the trailer, but that's just extra wood. Just decided just to cut these holes out. So to show you what I used here, on the last trailer, we used this. It's called Blackjack. It's a roof and foundation coating. You find this at the big box store. I can't remember which one, but only one of the 2 big box stores in this area, either Big Orange or Big Blue, sells this stuff, this particular brand. It's good stuff, nothing wrong with it. But we painted our trailer, I believe it was sometime in the first trailer, sometime in June, and even with it 90 degrees plus outside, it took a good week and a half for the floor to dry up to where we could actually touch it. And even at that point, it was still tacky for, gosh, a good number of weeks or so. So this time, seen this recommended on a number of the forums, we used, it's called fence post paint. Actually, you'll see there, they're both made by Gardner. But this, we picked this up at Tractor Supply. It's about 15 bucks or so. There's also Henry's. Henry's comes in a number of different numbered containers. I think there's like a 102. There's different ones depending on what your purpose is. But there's actually a asphalt paint mixture that they make that you can use. This just happens to be the one that we had, and I will actually say I am extremely happy with this one compared to the other. They both look to provide a pretty good finish. They're like a really thick paint when you put them on, like a thick, sort of like a half-dried latex paint. It says in the container that you can spray this stuff on with with an airless sprayer, I believe. But for me, easiest way to do it, it's a good old roller. Just got a sort of a medium nap roller here. Plan on throwing that away when you're done. I took and just spooned out some with a stick, put it on top, and rolled this out. I've already put 2 coats on here, a good first coat and then sort of a thin coat, just to cover in some of the few little spots where I could see the plywood peeking through, and I still have about half of a can left. So I think you could do 2 trailer bottoms with 1 can. It's almost a gallon here, 3.6 quarts. But that's about it. I did tape off around the edges here so that we didn't get any of this on the edges, because that's where we're going to glue to, and I'm trying to keep that as clean as possible so that we have good glue adhesion later on. So this is a 102-inch long exactly floor by 71 3/4 wide. So just to give you an idea, about a 5 by 9 or so, 8.5, 9 foot flooring. Anyways, that's the video on the bottom of the floor. Not a lot to look at. We're not going to watch paint dry, so that's it. If you like this video, like the series, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and you will get updates every time I post a new video. Thanks.